Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley. My name is Reverend Kiya Heartwood, and my pronouns are she, they. As you can tell, we are doing the service this morning in the church that it's illegal for us to be in. No. The real story is that we don't have our certificate of occupancy, so those of y'all watching from home, you are the church this morning. And we're going to have the service for you. I have lots of help here. John Faber's running the tech, and Allison Faber is going to be our worship associate and our DRE this morning. And we have a guest musician, Meg Barnhouse, and we're going to start out by teaching you a song. And the song is called Keep Your Heart Wide Open, and it goes like this. Better keep your heart wide open, though the waves going to push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. And it goes like this. Better keep your heart wide open, though the waves gonna push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. Ready to help me, Meg?
Absolutely.
Okay. Better keep your heart wide open, though the waves gonna push you around. Better keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Okay, Meg, you want to sing it first and I'll sing it?
Better keep
your
heart
heart
wide open, though the waves gonna push you around.
though the waves gonna push you around.
Better keep
your heart
wide open till your faith
brings you back
to solid ground.
till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Have fun with that song.
Howdy. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, UUCBV, or Brazos UU for short. My name is Allison Faber, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am serving as your worship assistant today. We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. We also strive to welcome people across diversities of race, age, ability, immigration status, and belief. We are also a congregation working for reproductive justice. So, whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here.
Our call to worship this morning is from John Katz, who says, we have to figure out how to light the chalice without our people to light them. He says, John Katz says, I think if I've learned anything about friendship, it's to hang in, stay connected, fight for them, and let them fight for you. Don't walk away. Don't be distracted. Don't be too busy or tired. Don't take them for granted. Friends are part of the glue that holds life and faith together. Powerful stuff.
Now please say our chalice lighting words with me. We light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as a beacon of hope for all who seek justice, dignity, and compassion, and in celebration of the life of truth and meaning we share together. Now, all please join me in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
So look around wherever you are, the four-leggeds and the two-leggeds that you can see, and I want you to acknowledge that there is holy, there's a spark of the divine in every being on this planet, even the plants. Look around at your plants, okay? And when you've greeted them, let's move on to the time for all ages with Allison.
Good morning. Our time for all ages this week is about a sheepdog and a sheep, and they're really funny friends. This is by Eric Barclay, who is a Texas artist. He lives around Dallas and writes really cute stories about unusual friendships. So this is called Sheepdog and Sheep. This is Sheep. She loves to dance. She knows all kinds of fancy dances, like the wildflower dance, the mud puddle dance, the get the spider off of me dance, and of course, the pee-pee dance. Dancing makes her very happy, and when she's happy, she closes her eyes. And when she closes her eyes, she bumps into things, usually trees. But one day, she bumped into something that wasn't a tree. It was a very hairy someone. "Holy begonia," she said. "Who are you?" "I'm the sheepdog," the someone replied. "I watch the sheep." "Well, I'm a sheep. I watch sheep too. Everyone knows I'm an expert at watching the sheep." "I don't see how you can be much of a sheep watcher with all that hair in your eyes. But I can fix that for you. Be right back." She skipped off toward the farmhouse. Just then, Sheepdog spotted an eagle overhead. It was looking at sheep like a mouse looks at cheese. The eagle dived, but Sheepdog told him to vamoose. Sheep found Sheepdog waiting for her outside the farmhouse, and she tied his hair into a pretty bow. "Now you'll be able to see the sheep," she said. "Except you're still missing something very important. Be right back." Sheepdog looked around. It was true he could see a little bit better with his hair pulled up. There was the shed, and the apple tree, and the coyote. "Coyote!" Sheepdog told him to skedaddle. Sheep returned with some binoculars. "Here you go," she said. "Now you'll be able to keep a sharp eye out for eagles and coyotes. Now, I don't suppose you have a map under all this hair, do you?" Sheepdog shook his head no. "Well, you're gonna need a map so you won't get lost. Be right back." She danced her way toward the old truck to retrieve a map. The dance made her very happy. She closed her eyes, and because her eyes were closed, she couldn't see that. But Sheepdog did. She kept on dancing. She had some extra fancy dance moves. Like most of Sheep's dances, this one ended with a bump on the head. But she had meant to do that, really. Sheep fished the map out of the glove box and handed it to Sheepdog. "You're all set. You've got a hair bow so you can see, binoculars to keep an eye out for danger, and a map so you won't get lost." Sheep thought for a moment. "Now, all we need are the sheep." She looked around. Not a sheep in sight. She borrowed Sheepdog's binoculars. Still no sheep. She unfolded the map. Yeah, they were definitely in sheep country. "Where are all the sheep?" she asked. "Did you lose them?" "You're the only sheep," Sheepdog said. "Oh, Sheep sat down and thought about only being a sheep and not a sheep. And when she thought, she got very still. And when she got still, she got very quiet. Thinking could do that. Finally, Sheepdog spoke. Maybe you're not a sheep. Maybe you're a dog sheep, and your job is to watch the dog. After a moment, Sheep replied, well, of course I'm a dog sheep. Everyone knows I'm an expert at watching dogs. The end. May we all celebrate our wonderful friends in our lives and support them in whatever they decide to do, even if it's a fancy dance that results with a bump on the head. And now we'll hear a wonderful song from Meg Barnhouse.
I believe you were singing House of Love.
We have decided that there's not enough gospel songs in Unitarian Universalism, and so I wrote this one, and here it is. Don't you wish you could fly? Don't you wish you could fly high? Don't you wish you could fly? Fly away into the house of love. Don't you wish you could see? Don't you wish you could? Don't you wish you could see? Don't you wish you could see? Don't you wish you hold the keys to the house of love? Yeah, the house of love is where they play the blues and you're not your head as you pay your dues. Yeah, the house of love has got a crooked floor, but you'll find your feet once you're through the door. Don't you wish you could say? Don't you wish you could say? Hey, don't you wish you could say? I'm gonna lay down in the house of love. Yeah, the house of love has got a great big yard. You can't just sleep out there if your heart's too hard. They got a big well with a silver cup. Take a drink from that, and your soul heals up. There's angels playing cards in the living room. There's angels in the back trying on perfume. Angels on the roof standing on their hands. There's angels on the porch laughing at your plans. Don't you wish you could find? Don't you wish you could? Don't you wish you could find? Don't you wish you could find? Don't you wish you could? Peace of mind in the house of love. Yeah, the house of love. You lay your burdens down and they welcome you. When you come around, nobody judges you, giving you disgrace. They'll say the sweetest things right to your face. Yeah, they're coming for you, baby. Never fear, those angels coming for you, baby. Never fear, love is coming for you, baby. Never fear, love is coming for you, baby. Don't be afraid, and don't you wish you could be? And don't you wish you could be? Don't you wish you could be all safe and free in the house of love?
So, the sermon today is called Ricky and Doris, and it's a YouTube video. It's about this artist. He's a former guitar player turned marionette maker, steel worker, who does a lot of street performing in the park in Washington Square in New York City. And in the course of his performances, he noticed the people around him, and he started making marionettes of them. In fact, he made one of this woman named Doris that you're going to meet in the video. And for me, it was the most accurate to my idea of what church is. Now, you all know, a lot of y'all know, that I toured for about 40 years as a live musician, and often I was at UU churches. On Saturday night, I'd be doing a concert, and Sunday morning, I'd be preaching and singing, kind of like what we're doing today. And what I noticed was that we made the congregation every place we went. And that's kind of what we've done here. Those of y'all who've been attending at the Neal Center know that there wasn't a lot of accoutrements, right? We didn't have a beautiful skylight, we didn't have a beautiful window, we didn't have beautiful chairs. We made church with the people that showed up. And that is what I want to continue in every place we go, no matter what happens. It's kind of like we've been on the Odyssey, if those of y'all who know the story of Odysseus, right? We've been on this long journey from the Wellborn Road Church getting sold 6.5 years ago, through Hillel, to when I got hired during the middle of COVID. We were online. John's been making the services. Allison's doing her thing. We're doing our thing. And we're making church with the people that show up. We're going to continue doing that, even though a lot of new people have come in and a lot of old people have come back. And we're going to make a community of the people that we have. Now, what I want you to notice in this video that we're going to show you is they make a congregation in the park every day with the people around them, and they celebrate them using art and using what they have. So let's watch the video and talk about it.
I met Doris in the park, like my first week out there.
He was doing his puppets in the park, and I'm very interested in puppets. I brought him a couple of my articles that I had written for the paper.
She was a columnist, I guess, way back.
So the next time he saw me, he said, "Oh, I have something for you." I sat down next to him, and he pulled out the little Doris puppet.
I decided to make a marionette of her, just to wow her, like, all right, you want to be nice to me? Well, here we go. Come on inside, show you the place. Sometimes I call it the garage in this zone. This is what would normally be like my little general store, you know, and nothing you have to buy, but I keep little chips over here on a little rack here, you know. Look at Little Red. Watch Little Red. Oh, he's wicked. Look at him. Hey, why don't you help Sticks out with his... Oh, never mind. This is my very, very first marionette, Elwood. As I carved out, he started to take on this like Haitian artwork. That's what it reminded me of. So I said, I'll make him a little beachcomber, a little Haitian beachcomber. Turn on the little house light here in the center, and I'll show you a little bit of inside the dog here. Wood and string and eyelets, a piece of rubber hose. This is a Glade Air Solid cover. I sculpted the mouth and the lips and the whole head out of tin foil, and then little glass marbles I used for the eyes. Then there's this really wicked looking control that just looks like it wasn't built overnight for sure. I hated work more than anybody. I hated being there. I hated having to be there, driving there when everybody else was driving there. Ah, man, being in the rat race was just... And I wanted to be out so bad. So, you know what? Music was my halfway step out. Doing my music gig. During all that time, I had all week to do what I wanted to do. And these marionettes I started making. and I took them to the park when I was going to street performing, and you know, I would rather die on the street as a street performer than try to create some sort of life that's going to satisfy somebody else. This guy's name is Chops. He was a prop for this music video I did. This is actually my face. See, this was me under all this. Without the bandana and this, it's really me.
Come on in.
I grew up until high school in Queens, and then my folks moved up to Massachusetts, and small town was not for me, and came back to New York. I got married to the guy who had this apartment. We never had any kids. We had sex, but nothing happened. I have no sense of age somehow, which everybody gets a kick out of. I can't tell whether they're 25 or 45. When I go to the park, any number of people from different groups and ages and so forth come over and greet me. If the person is interesting, that's what I relate to, not whether they are black or white or 60 or 15. No, 15 maybe is a little bit. 20. Oh, I think Ricky is supposed to be coming. Hello?
Hey.
Well, hi there.
Hey.
Oh, and here's the puppy, too. Little Doris has curly hair now, and I don't anymore.
Are you going to make me change the hair, or are you going to change yours?
I guess it was about 2 weeks after he made it that he said, oh, he was going out and get something for lunch, but I watched the puppets while he was gone. So he came back and he discovered that I had a whole line for the puppet that he hadn't even thought of. I had the puppet waving to people when they came by, you know, and people would wave back to the puppet.
She likes to do her thing where she doesn't want to dance with Sticks. Like Sticks goes to dance with her, and she moves away, and then she gets her cane and shakes her cane at Sticks, you know, and then Sticks walks over to the bench all bummed, you know, and I'm like, that's all right, buddy, just drink it off, you know. People would walk by and take pictures of her with the puppet, and she just felt like a queen, you know, and her friends are telling me that, you know, since this puppet, man, you know, she's really, it's like she's getting younger, you know, and I'm going like, oh, wow, like, you know, did I do that? I went from having to play gigs and, you know, pull concrete and all that to I'm doing this, and people are putting money in my hat, and people feel like this. I was just overwhelmed. All these years, I haven't been a laborer trying to be an artist or a steel worker trying to be an artist, you know. I was an artist trying to be all those other things. So that's who I really am. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry, cry, and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears come down like the falling rain. You'll toss around and call my name. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. Here's a quote about community that I think applies to what we just saw. One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't as individuals. When we pool our strength and share the work and responsibility, we can welcome many people, even those in deep distress, and perhaps help them find self-confidence and inner healing. That's Jean Vanier. So, what did you all think about Ricky? I mean, he had the original idea, but mostly it was just he didn't want to have to work a day job. He wanted to be an artist, and so he went out into the park. And then he noticed and celebrated the people around him. And by celebrating those people, like Doris, he would make a marionette to them. He could show them how special they were, and they responded, right? She becomes more herself. And Doris is really a church builder. She's out there greeting everybody, all ages. She's making friends. And she's making a community out of the people around her. And they're excited to see her, and they come to the park to see her. And she's celebrated, but Ricky made that possible. So what do you bring? What do you bring to church? What element of your personality can add to everybody else's benefit? And what's weird is the more you do for other people, the more you're going to get back. It's weird how that works. It's not capitalism, but it works. And I think that we have an incredible community and interesting people of all ages, and we should celebrate them. So if you could just focus a little bit more on celebrating each other and trying to find ways in which we can build community. And we don't know what it is. We have no idea what this church is going to be. It's who shows up and who contributes and who jumps in. So let's all jump in and see what happens. I'm excited to see where we're going. It's exciting. Don't you feel that little thrill in the back of your mind? Like they're doing in the park, let's do it here. And hopefully we'll put you back in the seats. But if you're watching at home, look around where you are. What can you do? There's great things about churches: community, diversity, support, acceptance, social justice, doing good in the world. These are all things that we can really invest in here for wonder and delight and fun. We're allowed to have fun. I know those of y'all who were raised Calvinists think maybe you shouldn't have too much fun, that God doesn't like it, but I assure you, if God made everything, then God likes fun. So let's have some. Learning, connection. This is a good place to learn. This is a good place to be excited about all kinds of things. I appreciate y'all listening to me this morning, and now it's time for the offering.
Now let an offering be taken to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This church shares the proceeds of the offering plate donation every single week to help support important nonprofit organizations with which we work. The 4 groups we voted to support this year's donations are the African American Museum of the Brazos Valley, Brazos Valley Blessings, the Pride Center, and the Brazos Mobile Food Pantry. We vote on this every May at our congregational meeting. Please be as generous as you can.
Well, Allison, how do we do this online when people are watching online?
You are so right. How do we do this online? You should see something on your screen right now that might have a link or a QR code, and we also have Venmo available, which you will see our Venmo handle on the screen as well. If you prefer to send a check-in, you can also do that at using our post office box. So.
All right. Meg, you gonna sing?
I'm going to sing. This is a song about my upbringing that I wrote in loving anger.
What was your upbringing?
Very conservative Presbyterian.
All right.
They told us we were born with a wicked sin inside. They told us it was pride. But I was born to love. Mama and Daddy smiled on their sweet baby child. And I was born just fine the first time. No stain upon my heart. It was state of the art. Don't need to be born again. Neither do you, my friend. You were precious from the start. They said your body is unclean. clean. Your heart will steer you wrong. You shouldn't be too strong. Surrender to the word. Don't ask it to make sense. You'll lose your innocence. I was born just fine the first time. No stain upon my heart. It was state of the art. I don't need to be born again. Neither do you, my friend. You were precious from the start. Yeah.
We give thanks for these gifts we have given, for those we receive, and for each other. May your generosity return to you tenfold. And now we have some announcements. Kiya, do you want to talk about the building?
Okay. Well, the City of Bryan has not given us a temporary or a permanent certificate of occupancy, which is why we're not having in-person services today. There is a lunch this afternoon, but you all will watch this too late to come to lunch. But we are going to find out what's happening this week, and we will let you know. There'll be an ECAS come out, and we'll get all the things worked out as fast as we can. The Board of Trustees are working on it. Our agents are working on it. Everybody's working on it. The staff is working on it. And we'll get this figured out as soon as possible and let you know what to do.
All right, so, although you should still save the date for Friday, February 23rd for the UUCBV fundraiser dinner and a show. The tickets are a sliding scale, $20 to $40 for a single ticket and $35 to $50 for a family. And don't miss buying a ticket for our 50-50 raffle. I don't know if you know what that is. That means for every ticket we sell, there's a raffle and somebody will win half of whatever money we sell. And each ticket is $5. So it's pretty amazing. You can get the tickets when we're back in person or online. So just write us if you need to know how to do that. And all the proceeds go to our church. And finally, get your tickets to the UUCBV table at the African American Museum banquet on Saturday, February 24th. You can talk to Pam Johnson or one of us and we can point you in the right direction. Now please join me in extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we gather together again.
The words for the benediction song, which is by Abby Spinner McBride, are on the screen, and we're going to sing it together. Remember the way of the wind and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire, sparkle and glitter and glow. peace, y'all.